Here's a journal I've been working on and off for a few years. And it says 2015 and 16. I made this page in 2014 with the verse of the year from Isaiah 43, 18, and 19. And then in 2014, my word was open, and my symbol was keys that open things. So it all seemed like a process that was kind of holistic, and it was leading up to something. And so you have this here where the doorway is like this, which my hope was that I was going to get finished with this journal in 2015. And with all the things that came up, it didn't quite happen. So I've included 2016. And now it makes more sense to me. Sometimes you just have to go with the flow. So I want to show you, because flow is my word for 2016, I wanted to show you how this was put together. And I made this accordion journal out of a sheet of watercolor paper and a strip 30 inches long by 8 inches high. And you can see this strip goes like this. So that's one strip. And then I cut other sheets and folded them to put them in between each fold on each side. So if you can see that. And so it can fold way out or way back. You can actually read the book like this, but at some points I made spreads so you'd want to see them with more than one page at a time. When I was nearly done, I'm not actually quite finished yet. I have this here left to do, and here's the back cover. Here's the back page of the journal. I glued the front of the accordion journal onto the inside front of this repurposed hymnal cover, which I really liked because it had this Gothic arch, and I thought this was going to be my travel journal when we went to Ireland. And I put a Celtic cross on here, and it just didn't seem to fit with the rest of my journal, so I put a new cover on, painted this in here. That's how that worked. And I'm going to do a kind of flip through here to give you an idea of what it would look like. So I started this. Here's the keys that open things. And the peek into 2015, and my word, aim. And I love this Egyptian proverb. The marksman hits the mark partly by pulling and partly by letting go. And then I have my verses here that I wrote from Isaiah as a prayer, and my definitions up here. And then here you can see how they still connect in that this Psalm 25:12 from the Message, what are God worshipers like? Arrows aimed at God's bullseye. So here is a prayer, circle prayer I did here. And then just different thoughts I had as I was painting and praying. Also arrows, I looked up verses on arrows and then wrote a little bit here, journaling. And then I did some verses here that are important to me from 2 Corinthians about God's grace is enough. And then the mercy and the verses here from Romans 12 on being a living sacrifice. And so this is how this side works. I don't think you can see it all here, but if you put it out here like this, you can flip them over like this. This flips over so that there's still an aim here and here. So it extends the target theme I have, and probably my favorite hymn, Be Thou My Vision. And then Titus found this great verse while researching my word aim, and as my aim is to raise hopes by pointing the way to life without end. This is the life God promised long ago, and he doesn't break his promises. So then verses here. So this was a lot of study as far as Bible study and application and prayer. So it's really a word of the year and how God speaks to me through that word. And then this is kind of a transition that I hadn't planned on, about face to face with God and the freedom in His presence. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's freedom. So I love that, which kind of made a transition. Now, I was still in 2015 when I did this, which seems odd because I didn't know what my word was going to be for 2016. But this goes with the theme of it. You see the water, and the perfect love casts out fear, and Jesus, you make me brave, which You Make Me Brave was my song of the year. And then in 2016, here's where it starts. And God gave me an animal of the year. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes I have a symbol, and the deer is one of the animals. So I wrote down what the symbolism of the deer is, and then my experiences that I encountered with the deer and how God spoke to me through that. Then here's my word. I kind of like how this flows here, and I planned that, to see if that could tie in. And then I used one of my coloring pages from the new Colorful Blessings coloring book, the first one here. And so I incorporated that, which was originally from another journal, and the verses that I have researched and have taken to heart from this year's flow word. And then this one was taken from the second Colorful Blessing, Celebrating Everyday Wonders coloring book, and incorporated in with collage and paint. And then here is this here, the flow. I have the definition. I always include the definitions in my word of the year and verses that speak to me. Then sometimes there's other things too, like the symbol of the deer for this year. I'm not quite done. I actually have a poem I think I'm going to put here, and then I'm going to explain a bit about the journal here. And I might actually get done with this journal. It's taken me quite a while, but I'm pretty happy with it. And it is nice sometimes to just go with the flow and not put the pressure on for a deadline or anything. So there it is.